Peter Schrager.
Yeah.
What's your New Year's resolution for the Buffalo Bills?
It's 2026, and I want to talk about Brandon Cooks.
Yes.
Because why not? Brandon Cooks showed up late in the season and over the last few weeks has been a weapon for the Buffalo Bills, something that they've been missing. If Brandon Cooks can hit the time machine and in January suddenly become a legitimate number 2 or 3 option and be their speed guy deep, well, Jason McCourty, I know you all know all too well about stopping Brandon Cooks in a Super Bowl, but I would say that he could very well be the difference for the Buffalo Bills as they try to make this run on the road over the next few weeks.
Very impressive Sunday, the plays he made down the field, especially the contested one, because that's not even something we've seen from Cooks over the last several years. But when you talk about that speed element, it is such a difference for this offense. Khalil Shakir is amazing, but that is all short passes. Keon Coleman, inactive for them. He was supposed to be the draft pick to be that threat on the outside. Josh Allen needs more help. We know what James Cook is able to do and how dangerous he is out of the backfield. But on the outside, they don't have the weapons with the health of Dalton Kincaid. So a guy like Brandon Cooks would be huge for them stepping up if he can do that week in and week out throughout the playoffs.
If you told me in March that we would be talking on December 31st about Brandon Cooks in a Buffalo Bills jersey being the difference for an MVP quarterback.
Shiggs, if you told me that, you told me that two weeks ago when he asked for his release from New Orleans.
But he's making big catches, and Terrell Shavers is making big catches. And 14 to the Bills. They're going to have to come from the back of the pack to do it. Allen has never won a road playoff game for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Can this team win 3 road playoff games?
Yes. Listen, at this stage of the game, for Josh Allen, you have to get it done. We've talked all season about how the path has been cleared for the Buffalo Bills. I understand. Could he use some more help? Of course. Every quarterback wants a little extra something, especially this time of year. But this team, I think for me, their Super Bowl hinges on James Cook. Like I do get Josh Allen is the key, but you cannot abandon the run. James Cook has to be a focal point. But they do have enough weapons, and they should get it done.
Well, that's to our next New Year's resolution. Another team that's have to come from the back of the pack is the Pack. J-Mac, what is your New Year's resolution for Green Bay?
They're going to have to score fast and early in the game. Sometimes you go through a year and you're a little bit down on your luck. For the Packers, injuries on the defensive side of the ball has made that run defense extremely weak. We saw it in prime time going against those Baltimore Ravens. Put the ball in Jordan Love's hands, assuming that he's healthy, he comes out of protocol, and allow him to be the dangerous one. Be aggressive on offense, get in the end zone early.
You know, coaches, and they should, always say, we don't make excuses. But I've been saying for years, some things aren't excuses, they're reasons.
I mean,
the Green Bay Packers are beat to shreds. And every single year, you know, there's a contender that just can't do it because they're just not healthy. Last year it was the Lions, and I think this year it's
just ravaged with injury on the defensive side of the ball. And you're seeing names that we were not even familiar with a couple of weeks ago having to play big minutes for them. Derrick Henry just embarrassed the entire defensive unit, but it wasn't the defensive unit we expected to see in September. No excuses. They seem like they're the perennial 7 seed now. That's just what they are in the playoffs. Can they make a run? I don't know with this unit on defense.
No, I mean, this was a Super Bowl team a month ago. They haven't won a game since they lost Micah Parsons. All right, let me jump to the last one here because Kmart, this one is yours, and I'm interested in this. What is your New Year's resolution for the Philadelphia Eagles?
They're so frustrating. Honestly, I just want the Philadelphia Eagles to figure out what their offensive identity is. I feel like we've been asking that question for 18 weeks.
Yes.
And I still don't have an answer. They have talent at every position, and yet we look at this team, they're maddening because too many 3-and-outs, except when Jalen Hurts, when he throws for under 200 yards, they're 9-0. When he throws for more than 200 yards, they're like 2-5. I cannot make sense of this team. I really don't know. And they're too good. The thing that gives me hope is honestly, they're the defending champs and they have the talent.
Yeah.
That's all I got, guys. Because every week you want answers from the OC, from the head coach, and nothing seems to change.
To your point, a lot of the same guys that were on the field months ago winning the Super Bowl are still on the field for them. Listen, they played the Raiders and the Commanders, and I know it was the Raiders and the Commanders, but we saw a spark from their offense. We saw them going into empty formations and Jalen Hurts being able to throw the ball. We saw Saquon Barkley finding space in the run game. Hell, we saw it in the first half of that Buffalo Bills game. Sal Powell, who was at the game, talked about how insane the weather was, and not to make that as an excuse, But the way Buffalo played them, if teams are going to do that and play man-to-man and blitz and get after Jalen Hurts, it opens up things on the outside for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They didn't make those connections on Sunday. But seeing that from me, I think moving forward, there is some hope. There is some cautious optimism around this team because you think, hey, on any given Sunday, like you can get that version of the Eagles offense and they can beat you.
I'm going to take you back to February. The Super Bowl ends. I'm working for Fox. We do the post-game stuff. And I'm walking out of the tunnel, and all alone, there's Vic Fangio. He'd been coaching the NFL for 40 years, and he just won his first Super Bowl title. And he's not beaming with smiles. He's not doing this. He's just walking with like a book bag, like he was any old guy just walking out there. I'm like, congrats. And he's like, yeah, thank you. Yes, of course, yes. Did you pick us? I'm like, I picked the Chiefs. But he's like, all right, well, then I got you. But truth of the matter is, he is the fixer for all of this. So they have this amazing luxury where they could put 13 yards of offense up in the second half, but when they need it most, somehow Vic Fangio is going to dial it up where they're going to be able to stop Josh Allen on a 2-point conversion at the end. That's what gives me comfort with this team. That's where I'm like, all right, they're all experienced. They've all been there. They've done this. Yeah. And Vic is calling the defense. So Stafford, Purdy, whoever.
And that's okay.
Vic Fangio is going to be calling the D, and I think I have trust in that.
Who's coming in there? They'll either be the 2 seed or the 3 seed. So if they're the 2 seed, they're going to get Green Bay.
Yep.
But it's less likely that they're the 2, right? It's more likely that they're the 3.
Probably going to be the Rams as a 6 going in there, who quite honestly, as much as we talk about these great games they've had, they're 3-0 the last 3 times they played the Rams. They win those games.
That was the game where they blocked the 2 kicks.
Yes, and in the snow last
the Rams
year.
feel like we could have won that game in that weather.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Vic Fangio. Put the squash on it.
Perhaps. But, I mean, that was the game this year. I'm thinking of the right game.
Great game.
Where they blocked all those kicks
100%.
and all that kind of stuff.
And if I'm the Eagles, that's the team I kind of don't want to see. Because
Me too. Out of the team everybody doesn't want to see.
The potential of what that offense can be, because we talk about Vic Fangio, what happens in a game where they do give up 21 points? Can you go out there and match if Puka Nacua makes a play? Devontae Adams is back in there.
About the cautious optimism.
I'm just
the hope.
That's the cautious.
That means you got some questions around.
It's not unabashed. It's not reckless optimism. It's
Atlanta was eliminated, didn't have Drake London, had 19 penalties. I said it was the worst loss any team had of the regular season. I think last week's loss for the Steelers in Cleveland was the worst loss any team had in the regular season. It was all in their hands. You win it, you're set, you're good, you get a bye, you can rest everybody. DK comes back for the playoffs. Instead, it was their worst offensive output of the entire season. And what's really worrisome for me is without DK Metcalf and without Calvin Austin and with an injured Darius Washington, suddenly the season comes down to this one drive. And when you build a team, you do so at the combine, you're working on that. You do it in March in free agency. You do it at the draft. You build it all training camp. To go to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a December acquisition on the 3 biggest plays of the season, back to back to back, that tells me that they're in emergency mode.
Yeah.
And I have no confidence that this offense is suddenly going to snap their fingers and be back to the one that we saw beat the Dolphins on Monday night a couple weeks ago.
You were on the field for that drive.
Guys, picture it. I'm standing there. I'm on the Brown sideline. And then I look up at the clock, 1:44 to go. And I'm like, oof. Aaron got the ball. I might have to run across the field back to the Steelers sideline. So I'm thinking in that moment, Aaron's going to do it. Then he hits Freiermuth, and he hits Freiermuth again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm on the wrong sideline. And then the back-to-back throws to MVS, and you're thinking, how did they just blow that? Going into that game, all the Steelers players I spoke to said, we have a chance to completely put this to bed. We got ourselves in this position, but we can take care of business. And when you walk away from that game, now you're thinking, okay, are we looking at an offseason where if the Steelers lose, are they going into next offseason with the same questions they had in this offseason, which is who's our quarterback? Because this very well could be Aaron Rodgers' last game, and Mike Tomlin has said, I will do everything in my power to make sure it's not. That
last play that you saw, which was the 4th down pass to MVS in the corner of the end zone, that most certainly would have been to DK Metcalf as he is there.
Right.
But there's no point in relitigating that. He's not going to be there Sunday in a game they need to play. So, J-Mac, how do the Steelers win this game without him?
And I think when we look back at that game, it wasn't just the last 3 plays to MVS. It was throughout the game that they were trying to find a way to get explosive plays down the field. And Hembo gave me the stat. Aaron Rodgers, 35 explosive pass plays. 15 of them have gone to DK Metcalf. Throughout the course of this game, he's looking to go to that one-on-one look, but he couldn't. These guys couldn't get open. This one's Adam Thielen, one-on-one, can't get open against Campbell. These were those opportunities. So now the catch and run, the same thing that we've seen go to DK, he wasn't there. So you look at this offense for Arthur Smith, their coordinator. How do you go into this game and find a way to manufacture guys open? Freiermuth, as you said, is a great option. But with the receivers you have to make them better. Aaron Rodgers likes to line his guys up, know where they are, and be able to pick a matchup and go to it. You're not going to win any of those matchups. You have to see more movement, guys going in motions, one guy standing behind a guy in a stack, three guys close together, trying to force the defense to communicate and will guys open, because one-on-one, they're not going to beat Nate Wiggins and Marlon Humphrey and those guys on the outside, Kyle Hamilton included.
It's not just the fact that they are without DK. Now they're down Darnell Washington, huge tight end. Going into
literally and figuratively.
Literally.
Yeah.
But also in that game, they did not have Calvin Austin, a speedy guy as well. There's hope that not only will Austin be back, but potentially TJ Watt. So we have to stay and watch that. But there could be reinforcements coming.
The Lamar Jackson of it all, we will wait and see if he practices today. That's an enormous storyline here. Will he or won't he play? We'll start getting some answers to that as we work our way forward. And then to me, that's a little picture stuff. That's what this game, how it will be decided. To me, the bigger picture here is almost a little more interesting, because I think it gets very noisy very quickly around whichever team loses on Sunday night.
The two longest tenured coaches in the NFL going up against each other in games where these seasons were going in limping into the playoffs. Regardless of the winner, they're going to be underdogs in that wild card round at home. That said, the loser is almost more interesting than the winner, because then we wake up Monday morning and say, have we gotten the most we can out of John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson this era? Is it